last month, my husband began saying things like, "You should rest more, you've done enough," and "Let me handle the morning chaos, you deserve some peace." Have you ever found something that completely detonates your entire life? I did. It was a second phone, hidden in the glove box of our family car, and it proved my suddenly perfect husband was living a whole other life with a woman my own kids called Miss Alana. So for anyone who's ever felt like they were slowly losing their mind, this is for you. To be honest, I've been a lurker forever, but if I don't get this out, I'm going to start screaming at strangers in the Target parking lot. I'm not even kidding. My name is Joanna. I'm 29, with 2 kids, a 7-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. I'm married to Hunter, who's 31 and, until recently, was functional. We weren't exactly couple goals, but it was stable. You know the drill, routines, fights over stupid things, mountains of laundry, and forgetting the one thing I texted him to buy at the store. But then, about a month ago, Hunter started acting weirdly nice. Not flowers and date night nice, but strategic. All of a sudden, he's up before me, making the kids breakfast. "Stay in bed," he'd say. "You deserve a break. I'll handle drop-off." And I'm just lying there thinking, this is the same man who once claimed he didn't know how the toaster worked. I figured, maybe he saw some TikTok about being a better husband. I didn't want to jinx it. I told my sister Amber, and she just said, "Maybe he finally realized you were about to snap." I wanted to believe it. But then it got more intense. "Don't worry about the house. I'll get it. I'll grab the groceries, you relax." And it just felt off. He's the guy who does things, sure, but he's always grumpy about it. This new, super chill Hunter who let the kids have extra screen time and didn't even question my Target receipt? That guy was a stranger. Then the little things started piling up. His phone, which was always on him, was now permanently on silent. He'd be laughing at texts, and if I asked what was funny, he'd just shrug and say, "Nothing." One day, I saw him in the car, windows up, just belting out some song from 2012 he's never even liked. His whole mood was lighter, way too good for a guy who acts like his commute is a war crime. I brought it up with Amber again. "Maybe he's cheating," she said, half joking. I rolled my eyes. "With who? He's either at home or at the gym. He's not the type." Or so I thought. But then my kids started saying things. My daughter came home and said, "Miss Alana let us have marshmallows in our hot chocolate today." I stopped what I was doing. "Who's Miss Alana?" She told me she's at school sometimes, and that she knows Daddy's favorite songs. A few days later my son added, "Miss Alana's hair is purple, and Daddy says her tattoos are cool." That night, I asked Hunter, "Who's Alana?" He barely looked up from his phone. "Just a teacher's assistant," he mumbled. "Don't overthink everything." I let it go, but it was eating at me. I texted another mom from school. She had no idea who I was talking about. No one's kid had ever mentioned an Alana. Just mine. Then came last Friday. I was running late for soccer snacks, so I grabbed Hunter's keys and ran out to our car. I was digging around in the glove box for a water bottle when my hand hit something hard. It was a phone. A whole other phone. I thought maybe it was an old one, but it turned on right away. No password. My hands started shaking. The most recent messages were from Alana Redheart. I opened the chat, and my world just shattered. There was a photo of her. Purple hair, tattoos, smiling at the playground, with my kids. I scrolled. There were photos of her and Hunter in the car, her hand on his arm, him smiling wider than I'd seen in years. There were texts about our weekend, and finally starting over with the right person. And then I saw it. A message from him to her. "Once we tell Joanna, it'll be real." I felt like I was going to be sick right there in the driveway. I kept scrolling, my mind on autopilot, taking pictures of everything with my own phone. And there it was, in black and white. Him, talking about me. "She's so tired she won't notice anything." And, I feel so trapped, but you make me feel alive. I wanted to scream. I wanted to smash the phone into a million pieces. But the kids were inside. I just sat there, in the driver's seat, staring. I walked back into the house, my face a mask, pretending nothing was wrong. When Hunter walked in, all smiles, asking if the kids were ready, I just nodded. I waited until he was in the shower. Then I sat on the toilet lid and texted his real phone. Found the phone. Found the photos. Found the messages. Congrats. You're officially the world's dumbest cheater. He didn't reply right away. Then, a single text came through. You always ruin things. I was going to tell you when it was the right time. I nearly dropped my phone. I walked into the kitchen just as he came out, a towel around his waist, acting completely casual. Want some tea? He asked. I looked at him, my voice dangerously low. Are you serious right now? He sighed. Don't make this a scene. You made it a scene. You never listen. You're always tired. Because I do everything. I shot back. You never let me be myself. Yourself. Yourself is a liar. You're being dramatic, he said, and that's when I snapped. I threw his secret phone at the counter. It bounced onto the floor. He just bent down and picked it up, like it was a piece of trash. As he walked past me, his shoulder bumped mine, and I shoved him. Hard. He grabbed his keys and left. My sister said, "Come over. Now." But I couldn't. I just paced my kitchen, counting the spoons in the drawer, over and over, as if doing something normal could make any of this not real. He didn't come back. Then, I got a text from an unknown number. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I blocked it instantly. That's when I called my mom. She just said, I'm on my way. She showed up with cookies, sat at my table, and just listened. She didn't tell me what to do. She just said, I'm here. Hunter walked in then, saw my mom, and stopped dead. This is private, he said, looking at me. My mom stood up. Not anymore, it isn't. He rolled his eyes. You're overreacting. I finally found my voice. You don't get to talk to me like that. He pointed a finger at me. You're ruining the kids' lives. You already did that, I said, my voice ice. He stormed out. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning he was gone, but he'd left a note on the counter. Need space. Don't do anything stupid. I actually laughed out loud. I packed a bag for me and the kids and went to Amber's. She poured me a glass of wine at noon and I showed her the pictures. Holy hell, was all she could say. What are you going to do? I looked at her, my eyes probably burning. I don't know yet. But I'm not letting him get away with this. That was just the beginning. The revenge part? Honestly, it's more exhausting than satisfying. The first thing I did was march into the bank, declare we were separating, and move my half of our money into a new account. I left enough for the bills. I wasn't going to play games with our kids' stability. But his little slush fund for flowers and date nights with Alana? Gone. He didn't notice at first. Then, suddenly, my phone was blowing up. Calls, texts, angry voicemails. 1 minute it was, I'm so sorry. The next it was, you're taking this too far. I just sent him a screenshot of him and Alana with our kids. Want to see what ruining the family looks like? He didn't reply. Then he showed up at Amber's house, ringing the doorbell like a maniac. Amber opened the door and told him to leave. He tried to push his way in. I walked up behind her and said, if you don't leave right now, I'm calling your mom. His own mom. That's the real threat. He muttered something under his breath and stormed off. After that, his whole family got involved. His mom called, trying to guilt me. You shouldn't take the kids away from him. His dad texted that he was disappointed in how I was handling things. I sent them both the photos. His mom called back crying, I can't believe he'd do this. I just said, believe it, and hung up. The school called too. Apparently, there was no Miss Alana working there. Not as a teacher, not as an aide. Nobody by that name had ever worked there. My stomach just dropped. So who was she? Who was this woman he was letting play house with my children? Days turned into a blur of chaos. He told our friends I was unstable, that I'd lost it and stolen the money and the kids. His sister Kate sent me a long message about how I made him feel small. I just blocked her. He kept showing up at Amber's, yelling from the driveway until my dad had to come over and physically stand between him and the door. And then, just when I thought it couldn't get any crazier, I got a friend request on social media. It was Alana. Purple hair, same eyes from the photos. A few hours later, a message popped up. Hey, can we talk? I swear I didn't know everything. I didn't want to, but I had to know. I replied, "What do you want to say?" She sent back a wall of text. He'd told her we were already separated. That we were just living together for the kids. That I was cold and distant. He told her I knew all about her and was fine with it. I read her words, my hands shaking with pure rage. I screenshotted the whole conversation and sent it to him. Your mess. Not mine. And then I blocked her for good. He tried to ambush me when I went back to the house to get more of our things, grabbing my arm in the hallway. He showed up in my work parking lot, blocking my way until Amber peeled out of there with me in the passenger seat. He even made a scene at the kids' school, trying to pick them up when he wasn't on the list. His family started a group chat to tell me I was destroying the family. I replied with screenshots of his texts to Alana and said, "This is your boy. Ask him if he's happy." And then I left the group and blocked them all. I was done. I filed for a legal separation. That brings us to the finale. Things had been quiet for a few days, which I knew was a bad sign. I rolled up to the house with Amber and my dad to get the rest of our things. The place was a wreck. And there, on the dining room table, was an envelope with my name on it. It was divorce papers. Already signed by him. On top was a sticky note. You ruined everything. Hope you're happy. I almost laughed. Just as we were leaving, he screeched into the driveway, yelling, "You can't just take everything." Amber and my dad stood in front of me like a wall. "You did this to yourself," I told him, my voice steady. We just drove away. The legal battle was a nightmare. His lawyer tried to paint me as an unstable monster. My lawyer just held up the printouts of the messages from the secret phone. He wanted the house, the car, joint custody. He got supervised visitation and an order to stay away from my parents' house, where we're living for now. I'm not healed. I'm not some Pinterest quote about being stronger for the pain. I'm just done. I did what I had to do. I fought back. And if that makes me the villain in his story, fine. I would rather be hated for standing up for myself than be a doormat ever again. He lost. He lost his family, his dignity, and the one person who ever truly had his back. And he has no one to blame but himself. Honestly, I need a laugh after all this. So tell me, what's the wildest, most pathetic text an ex has ever sent you? Drop it in the comments below.